Alright, so here we have Mercedes ML430 harmonic balancer removal. Now, this balancer was replaced at 83,000 83,000 miles in 2005. Now it's 2010 and the truck has 153,000 miles. So in order for this thing to be removed, overall it looks okay, but it has some disintegrating rubber in between two metal pieces, and if it separates, then you obviously have very costly repairs as it chews through the oil pan and destroys many other things on its way. So now, because there is a bolt dead center that has to be removed, the pulley itself has to be blocked somehow. So here I have an extension, which is just a regular pipe, and luckily for me, the bolt that holds the balancer in place has hex head. Therefore, I can use this homemade holder, which I'm going to show you in a second. As you can see, I have an Allen bolt that holds balancer in a position, onto a crankshaft. So now, this is the socket to remove the balancer bolt. Now here is the holder which I created to hold it in place. Here we have it. Beauty. Alright, so here we have a 30-inch, 3/4 inch diameter steel pipe that goes into a cupola, it's called a reducer, I believe, from 2 inches to 3/4, where a pipe is screwed on. So this part right here, actually at the very end, was against the ground. This whole structure is going through openings in the dampener, in the vibration dampener, and here is the opening throughout where you can just push your key through the socket. It will not work with bolts, unfortunately. So if you have a 27mm bolt that holds your dampener onto a crankshaft, then it won't work because the diameter is just a little too small. It's probably possible to open it up a little more, but I'm not sure, cannot guarantee. So anyway, so this is the reducer that I use to actually have some sort of like horizontal support against the ground, which is this pipe. These are little couplers that you can purchase at the store as well, at HomeDepot. I'm using inch long coupler. I didn't want to, I didn't have a 1/2 inch extension, so I had to use the shortest possible, and it worked actually very well. And the flange, which is I believe it's 1/4 flange. Now I drilled holes a little bigger. These holes, it had 4 holes. I drilled them out a little more. I put some bolts through, reinforced it with 2 nuts here, so they won't bend when I apply force with my wrench. And there you go. It worked pretty well. The bolt came right off. But the fortunate fact for me is that the balancer was replaced at some point ago, so the bolt was not super tight. Now, in terms of the 27mm bolt, I purchased the bolt to replace mine, which is right here, and I do have a 27mm socket for it. But the problem with all this structure here is that, as you can see, this 27mm socket fits perfectly. Now the problem is, if I cannot use it because the opening here is just not enough for the socket to go through. But if you do have some tools just to grind off a seam right over here, get some more light for you. As you can see, there's a seam right here, a weld actually, right over here. this what prevents this socket to go into the hole, because if you look closely you can see that there is still some space surrounding the socket. So theoretically it would have fit if not that seam. So if the seam would be grinded off, I'm pretty sure that the socket will go through and you'll be able to use this bolt that I bought to replace mine, but I'm gonna use my original bolt. This bolt fits in there fine, and the socket also almost fits. But like I said, the seam, the weld has to be filed off. So here we are. Here's my homemade tool, and the dampener right now is a little loose, and I can easily remove it. Let's see. As you can see, it moves a little bit, so I can almost finished with it. And here's the new dampener. Costed me about $67. Mercedes dealer. And the socket I'm using for it to remove the bolt is Allen head. The size on it is 17, I believe. It's 17 millimeter, or H17. I don't know if it's millimeter or not, but whatever. That's what I got. And of course I put some little pipe, which is about maybe 18 inches on top of my wrench to create more leverage. I guess if you have any problems with your dampener, look into it. And that's how I remove mine. Look.